So, you have a rusty car that needs a custom patch panel made. Don't worry, today I'm going to show you how to make a custom patch panel as a beginner with basic tools. For my project here, I need to make this inner rocker area. As you could see, some of it has already started to rot away. That's not as big of a problem as it seems, and I'm going to show you why later on. So let's get started. First of all, you want to see what metal you're working with. For this, I'm using a metal gauge. So as you can see here, this panel is made from 20 gauge. Now, since this patch is on the inside of the vehicle and it's not going to be seen, I'm going to make this out of 18 gauge instead of 20. I just so happen to have a lot of 18 gauge laying around, so I'm going to use it. But if this was an outside panel, I recommend always using the same thickness as the original piece. Now that I have the metal thickness, I can move on to making the template. Templates for the most part are made out of 3 materials: paper, tape, or cardboard. I personally prefer tape, but any of these 3 will work just fine. So let's go back to that missing metal. I'm going to use the tape to make up the part that rotted away. As you can see, this piece has a slanted line, so I'm going to continue that slant all the way to the bottom. Now, the better you make your template, the easier it will be to line everything up later on. So take your time and make this as accurate as you can. Once I had the tape laid out, I used a Sharpie to mark out whatever area needed to be trimmed. It's also worth mentioning that I drew a line across the top of the patch to use as a reference point. Every time that I take the patch off to trim it, I can then place it back exactly where I measured it from. Now this patch isn't going to be made from one piece of metal. Since most of us don't have all the tools and equipment needed to make it that way, I'm going to be making it as 3 pieces of metal that I'm going to weld together later on. For the other 2 templates, I did the exact same thing. Put tape on it, marked it with a Sharpie, and then trimmed it. With all 3 templates completed, I mocked them up to see how everything lined up, and I thought it looked pretty good. I also like to leave notes to myself on the templates, like marking which side is the top and what gauge metal I need to use. It's easy to get mixed up when there's multiple things happening at once, so it's a good way to set a reminder. Since everything looked good, it was time to transfer the templates onto metal. If your templates are spot on, then you can cut them out exactly how you write them. Since I'm a beginner myself, I tend to leave a little extra around the edges just in case something goes wrong. Now when it comes to actually cutting the metal out, I know that not everyone will have a shear, but this can also be done with some tin snips, and to make the curves in the metal, you can use a belt sander or a grinder. So that first piece that I cut out was from sheet metal that I bought, but you can also make patches with scrap pieces, as long as they're the right thickness. This piece was originally a rocker panel that I found, so I flattened it out and then cut it to shape. Now that I've got all 3 pieces cut out, I'm going to move on to cleaning them. I like to use these little abrasive discs that help remove paint without damaging the metal. I'm going to have a link to most of these tools that I'm using down below if you're interested in any of them. Even if your metal looks clean, you should still clean it again. You can see on this piece right here that it looks clean, there's no rust on it, but when I take that wheel to it, you can see that the color changes. That's because sheet metal is coated with a thin layer of oil that stops the metal from rusting. So it's important to clean the metal yourself just to make sure that it's prepped correctly. Now that I have all the metal cleaned up, it's good to take some notes before we start tearing out the old metal. For me, I noticed that the original piece has a gap on the backside, and on top of that, it's also spot welded in a few places. So I'm going to need to drill new holes in my patch later on. With all that noted, I'm going to start to cut out the old metal. You can use a cutoff wheel here or a sawzall, whatever you have that gets the job done. I used a belt sander with some 80 grit to get rid of the spot welds. When you're sanding through spot welds, it's important to only go through one layer. You'll know that you made it through one layer when the metal turns bluish for a second. It sounds weird, but you'll know it when you see it. If you are using a belt sander or a grinder, it does create a lot of heat. So just keep that in mind to avoid warping the metal. Once the old piece has been trimmed out, it's time to start fitting and bending the new metal. For the most part, small pieces of metal can be bent by hand. Obviously, sharper bends will need to be done with a hammer and a vise or a workbench. Now this is one of the most important things when it comes to making a custom patch. Make sure that the metal fits good. You should not have to push the metal into place every time. If it's bent correctly, it's gonna fall right into place. The reason that I'm saying this now is because you're still able to bend the metal. As soon as you start welding two pieces together, if you have the wrong angle, you're most likely gonna have to start again. I learned this the hard way a few times, so spend the extra time making sure everything fits together nicely. Once you have a good fit, you can start to tack each piece together. It's important to test fit it every time you add a new piece to the patch, just to ensure you have good fitment. I'm pretty happy with how this is lining up, so I'm going to weld this together. Don't worry about the longer pieces, they'll be trimmed later on. When it comes to welding, everyone has a different opinion on what's right and what's wrong. Most welders will have recommended settings on the inside for whatever gauge of metal you're welding. I tend to run my welder a little bit hotter than what's recommended, but it's also worth noting that I'm using a welding table, and that table is absorbing some of the heat from my welds. So set your welder to whatever works best for you. For the welds itself, I'll be welding the front and back side of this piece. This will make it strong, especially if you plan on grinding the welds down in the front, which is pretty common. It's also really important to spread the heat out when welding, so I'm skipping around every few tacks to minimize the warpage. If you have an air compressor, you can also use that to cool off the welds. One common problem that beginners run into is having big gaps. If you have any big gaps that need to be filled, I like to use a copper backing plate. That's going to take some of the heat away and avoid blowing through the metal. Now that I've finished welding, I'm going to start to grind down that metal till everything looks good. I'm not going for the perfect patch here when it comes to looks. I'm going to leave the welds a little bit high on the inside edge. If you wanted more of an OEM look, you can absolutely grind those welds down to make this piece look really good. But in my case, a piece of weather stripping for the door is going to be blocking this, so I'm just going to leave it and seam seal it later. After I sanded it down, I did one more test fit. The top gap is a little bit large, but it's weldable. And there are some slight gaps on the bottom that I'm going to fill with weld. Since I'm working outside, I am going to coat this with some weld-through primer to stop any rust from forming. Once that finished drying, I started to drill out my plug weld holes. I drilled out 4 1/4-inch holes, which should be plenty when it comes to strength. Finally, it's time to weld this patch in. I did run into a slight problem when I started welding. I kept on blowing straight through the 20 gauge. So I adjusted my welder to run a little bit cooler. Now this is the same process as when you're welding the patch together, just skip around and try to spread that heat out. Here's what it looks like after the first pass of welds. It's not pretty, but I have good penetration on the backside, so it is really strong. After that, I went in with the belt sander and flattened out the welds. This is going to make the patch look a lot better, but more importantly, it's going to show me any spots that I need to weld shut. Welding is definitely an area that I still struggle with, so I did have to go back a few times to fill in the spots, but after I did that, I think I got a decent looking patch. I'm definitely not a professional when it comes to metalwork, but I'm happy with how this turned out. It's by no means perfect, but it gets the job done. So that is how you make a custom patch panel with no special tools. It can be done, you don't need any crazy skills. I started welding just 2 months ago, so as long as you take your time and double check your work, you'll be fine. If you're interested in seeing more metalwork, you can click this video right here.